not one. So that was the school Susan inherited. Within 2 years, she had made a lot of progress, and she had lobbied for a tuition-based preschool, which had been filled, but nobody was staying. No one would stay for kindergarten. And even with the progress they had made, they kept saying, but the school's on the up and up. Why can't we attract the neighborhood? I don't get it. They decided to stop busing. It seemed to have stabilized. Why? And the answer is it's kind of complicated. You can't just put a shingle outside that says, Melhurst, not so crappy, check again, It's complicated how you bring in a discriminating population. So Melhurst suffered from some real problems and some perceptual problems. Real problems are actually very easy to fix. Paint goes a very, very long way. There are ways to finagle supplies and books and all that sort of stuff. The perceptual problems, that was a real pickle, and I would say that 70% of our efforts went towards changing community perceptions. At that point, I didn't know anyone who'd ever been inside. People, if you mentioned Meadowhurst, people would either laugh in your face or they would tell you it was being made into condos. I mean, these were the only two reasonable options. So I thought what I would do is walk you through what each of the teams did. The first team was our infrastructure team, and we had to figure out how to drum up some chemistry in very short order. So Meadowhurst is a beautiful old 120-year-old brick building. It is gorgeous. It has great bones, but it kind of looked like a penitentiary. And all the signage outside told people to get lost and no ball playing. It was really kind of creepy. And there was no way to tell where the front door was, and it looked really, really scary. And when we went inside, even though it was clean and well run, it didn't exude anything that I think someone who had other options would say, this seems like a great place to camp out for the next 8 years. So in the first 2 years of this movement, we had over $500,000 of donated goods and services, and they were all poured into love and affection into this school. And at this point, there is not an inch of the school that has not been licked by a neighborhood artist. And really, really, I tell you, it is love on a plate. We asked painters to paint a base coat. We said, just pick one room, pick any room. We'll show up with pro bono paint and donated paint and donuts, and we'd be there to cheerlead, and we'd be there at 5 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night, and be there on weekends. And we'd say, just paint one room. And then after a base coat was done, we asked neighborhood artists, just paint anything that's ugly. And they'd say, well, what are the parameters? And we'd say, well, don't make it scary, don't make it phallic, don't paint the face of Jesus, other than that, do whatever you want, And Susan, our principal, would say, I'd kind of like to see a sketch first, but basically, if I liked your stuff and it seemed magical in some way, we knew that it would be infinitely better than what we had. We also made friends with all the design guys in the city, who, by the way, all know each other. And we have a sort of different concept of window shopping than maybe normal people. And so we would just ask for stuff. Anytime we passed a store, if you liked the display, we'd say, can I have it when you're done? And they'd say, sure. And then we'd scoot over and we'd pick it up. And we just always said yes, whatever it was. Burberry calls, I have 6 sheep. Do you want them? Sure, absolutely, we'll be there. Go pick them up. No idea where the sheep were going to graze. No idea what it was. But absolutely, of course we want it. And the display guys would much prefer to see their stuff in a public school than wind up in a landfill. They spent a long time putting that kind of thing together. And so we just kind of hoarded materials until a design presented itself. I'm primarily an artist, far more of an artist than I am an author, and so I could talk until I'm blue in the face about how yummy I think the infrastructure is, but I'll show you a video when I'm done talking about the teams, and I think it sort of speaks for itself, and every school in America should be delicious. The enrichment team did a number of things. The first thing we did is we reached out to the Chamber of Commerce. Susan already had a relationship with them, but we really knocked it out of the park. Basically, what we did is we brought all the events that the neighborhood might have to the school. Our overarching theme was how to create a heart of a community. How do you turn this school into the heart of the community? And so now there are Halloween hooplas and Easter egg hunts, spring bunny hunts, and all sorts of festive things, and that all takes place in the school. We also started a farmers market with Bensidon USA. Bensidon USA runs 600 markets in Paris. We were their first Chicago market. Because obviously a school can't run a farmers market, so we contracted it out to a third party. And what we were trying to do is put going to and Nettlehurst in the same sentence, which really hadn't happened in 25 years. And when people showed up at the market, whether they had kids or not, inevitably Susan would be there on Saturday saying, hey, you got a kid, you want to come inside, you want to see the school, blah, blah, blah. And it absorbed people. It gave us a way also to proselytize on a weekly basis to a rather unsuspecting clientele. We also brought in the local bookstore to do a free reading hour every Tuesday for neighborhood kids. And that was wildly successful to bring people in when their guard was kind of down, because they were just there for story hour. But the most important thing we did was we became one of Chicago's inaugural 6 community schools. The enrichment team of moms had a real pickle. How do you bring art and culture and sports and stuff like that into a school when you don't have any resources, right? That's a pickle. So what we did is we went around to all the people who were the best in the city at what they did. Fairy Tale Ballet, Lowell Street, HND Taekwondo. I mean, you have your own people here where kids are normally, if anybody's doing ballet, this is the place they're going to go. And we said to them, look, partner with us, charge your normal rates, stay here rent-free, electricity-free, marketing-free. And all we asked in exchange were 2 things. First of all, everybody had to offer scholarships, which they did anyhow, because they were decent, do-gooding people. But then they had to contribute to the regular curriculum day, some nominal amount. So here we had minimal art, theater, dance, music. Now we have more than we ever could have dreamed of. It's all at no cost to the taxpayer, virtually no cost to CPS. The only financial outlay is one $40,000 position, which is shared with our not-for-profit partner. Our not-for-profit partner is Jane Addams Hull House Association. We also have a Jewish Community Center Kids Club in the building. Basically, the idea is, instead of casting 700 students out into the universe at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, for heaven's sakes, just invite 30 different instructors into the school, right? The children were there anyhow. And what we were trying to do is free the soccer mom and free us from having our weekends cluttered up with all of this stuff, which makes no sense. You talk to all of these moms, you say, what did you do all afternoon? I waited at soccer. All afternoon? You left work to sit in your car at soccer? Silly. All the kids are in the, well, maybe people really like doing that, I don't know, but I don't. I don't even have a car. Why would I want to be at a soccer game? So the idea is bring all of that energy into the school. In terms of the academics team, the curriculum team, I should say, in full disclosure, I don't know a shred about early childhood education. I'm happy when I see it and sad when I see it, but that's really where I top out. But I did know a lot of mommies in the park who did know about education. And we had a curriculum team on it. They were filled with former teachers, psychiatrists, psychologists, people who would actually know what they were looking at. They went to all the public, private, and parochial schools we would have considered. They sat in all of the classes. They videotaped all of the teachers. And after 4.5 months of doing research, they came back basically happy, which was great news. Because had they come back and said, you know what, guys, this school is fundamentally broken, we likely would have said, I hope your new library works for you, but this probably isn't going to work for us.